Hey, what's up, team? This is Eddie Gray. Welcome to Eddie Gray in the Mix, brought to you by HF Music Academy. So one of the things that I always recommend when you go into the studio, whether that be your bedroom, whether that be your wife's closet, it doesn't really matter. You basically need to warm yourself up and get yourself prepared. So if you play guitar, highly recommend you just sit down, maybe grab a metronome and just start playing with the metronome. And all of a sudden you can get yourself into a groove, you know, depending on what it is that you're jamming on or feeling on that day. Now, if you don't play piano or guitar rather, then you would play piano. And if you don't play piano, then play machine. And if you don't play machine, then play a synthesizer. Whatever it is, get in touch with the music, get in touch with the instrument itself to remind you of what you're doing, to connect you back to the source of your music. So that being said, my name is Eddie Gray. If you do not know who I am, you will. I essentially am a composer, producer in LA. I've been at this for years. I absolutely love music with all my heart, all my being, and I have been chasing the magic that is music for so very long. I recently updated and upgraded my studio. I'm absolutely elated about this dream setup. I've got another unit coming in, and I couldn't be any more thankful and grateful to the universe at large and all my community, all the members of HF Music Academy, Christopher, Angie, all the great people who support us, Robert. Just feeling a lot of gratitude right now. And normally we analyze music on the channel, but given that I already did that on Tuesday, usually it takes me 2 sessions, but we were on fire on Tuesday. I've decided to change it up a little bit today, and I'd like to work with live loops. Most of you know Logic 10.5 just came out with a rather insane update. It looks like everyone is coming out with updates. Just today, Complete 13 announced, Isotope RX 8 announced, and there was a couple of other ones as well, which I won't even mention. But that being said, there's a lot of nuances and details, and so I figured I would go ahead and just chime in on the conversation, because it seems like there's a lot of people on the net that kind of know what it does and how it works and how it functions, but not quite. And so I just wanted to kind of fill in the gaps for a lot of you that are new, that are novices, but just don't have an idea of how to use live loops. So that's the proposal for today. Hopefully you guys enjoy. If you guys have any questions for me, hit me up on the comments. I do check them from time to time. And that being said, let's get right into it. So looks like I got my tech working again, and so here is the book that I've been getting into again. I've read it once or twice over, and just a phenomenal book, Steal Like an Artist. And so I'm just going to carry on here. Here we go. So Save Your Thefts for Later. This is a book about being resourceful. Wait a minute. We actually read this already. Yeah. Let's go here. Arthur Russell liked to wear shirts. Yeah, no, we talked about that too. Number 2, don't wait until you know who you are to get started. You got to love that. You don't have to wait to completely know who you are to get started. And this means musically, but of course it means in any field. Just get started. I heard a quote today from one of my friends. I'll probably botch it, but if I do, I will rectify it. And it went something like this, that the winners go out there and they're imperfect. They go out there and they act and they make mistakes and they learn from their mistakes, and they're just imperfect, while the losers will perfect their plans. And so don't make the mistake of trying to perfect your musical plans. Get out there. There's an industry out there waiting for you. Okay, so here it is right here. This is who we are. On the left-hand side, this is you. You're waiting to live your dreams. You've been waiting for a long time, but things held you back. Trying to be an adult, trying to have 2 jobs, relationships, wanting to make a certain amount a year, your parents telling you to go to school. And that's what's been holding us back from taking that leap of faith. I remember when I took my leap of faith, and it was absolutely the most incredible experience of my life. I would never forget it. I was a personal trainer, and all I wanted to do was be a self-sufficient, fully self-expressed, abundant, creative, making a bunch of dough and just living it up. Right before this cast, I sold a couple songs to a really big, reputable company, made some solid cash. Right after that, got another deposit for a trailer. There's so much going on. There's so many great opportunities, even in times of distress, such as the times that we're in now. You can still find the truth. You could still find abundance. So who you are and who you want to be, it's going to take a leap of faith. All right. So make things and know thyself. If I'd waited to know who I was or what I was about before I started being creative, well, I'd still be sitting around trying to figure myself out instead of making things. In my experience, it's in the act of making things and doing our work that we figure out who we are. So check that out. It's about action, right? You are ready. Start making stuff now. You might be scared to start. That's natural. There's this very real thing that runs rampant in educated people. It's called imposter syndrome. The clinical definition is a psychological phenomenon in which people are unable to internalize their accomplishment. It means that you feel like a phony, like you're just winging it, that you really don't have any idea what you're doing. Guess what? None of us do. Ask anybody doing truly creative work and they'll tell you the truth. They don't know where the good stuff comes from. They just show up, do their thing every day. In fact, this brings me to a recent interview that I heard with Andre 3000 and Rick Rubin. They had a great podcast, and it was really incredible to to check out this this podcast, because for those of you that know Andre 3000 and know his body of work, I mean, the guy is absolutely brilliant. Is commonly notated as like one of the best rappers, you know, from several people. And so it's wild to hear somebody like him who has done so much as a body of work to feel uncertain, and like essentially when he goes in the studio, he doesn't really know what he's doing. And I just thought, man, that's so liberating for somebody like that to just come out and just say the truth. But still, we have to show up. We have to show up. We have to do what we do, because this is who we are. We're creative people. This is what we're born to do. We breathe it, we bleed it, right? And so in a lot of ways, it didn't choose. You didn't choose it. You know, it wasn't something that you consciously chose. Like for me, I remember the day it hit me. It was like, that's what I want to do. I need to do this, you know? And so you might remember that episode for you and how it chose you. And so now you're trying to navigate the waters. How can I make money doing what I love? And there's so many different avenues. You could be a voiceover artist. You could be a producer. You could sell music to licensing jingles. There's a bunch of people doing so many different things, and I just want to remind people out there that it's possible. That's the main thing. That's the reason why I do this channel. This is my service, my contribution, my charity to the world. I know that there's somebody listening, and I want to get in your head. So that being said, let's get into making some music. I'm going to jump into Logic Pro. All right, so here is Live Loops. I went ahead and opened up a starter grid. You know what? Let me save this as something. Let me call it, yeah, let's just call this Eddie Gray, and we'll just call this Live for now. I'm sure I'll change the name of that later. Save that to the desktop. All right, so I want to show you a workflow that I think is interesting, and I think it's worthy of mentioning that you don't always have to start something fresh and something new. So I opened up a starter grid from Logic's default settings. And why did I do this? Well, to be honest, it comes kind of pre-made, preset with a lot of ideas. And so perhaps I can take some of these ideas. It could be a musical thief, if you will. You can kind of take things that work, melodies, sounds, and then you can implement them in a new way. So I'm thinking about a song that's in this tempo, something like something like that, right? So let me see where they are with their tempo. Hit K to turn on the metronome. Still don't hear it. I think I'm gonna have to do this. One sec. All right, let's open up the cool. Yeah, so that's like, you know, OG boom bap hip hop from that the 80s era. So that works for me. Hit Option L to go back into the Live Loops grid. So this is perfect because the song that I want to make is in the same BPM, same speed. We can always change it later. But now I'm going to go ahead and just listen to the idea. Now I'm listening not as a fan. I'm listening not as a bystander. I'm listening as somebody that is doing research. All right, we're trying to figure out what works for us in this track. Okay, now for those of you that are researchers or crate diggers, you won't be able to necessarily take melodies because of sound recognition technology. It's so good right now. It's amazing how fast it can just, notate parts of songs, or it's really, really impressive. So I'm listening for just all of the various parts and what I can take. So I'm going to go ahead and play and trigger these individually. I could do this with my hands with the mouse, or I could do this with the arrow keys. As you can see, I'm moving around here. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and trigger just every individual cell starting here. Option and 2-finger drag up so I can go ahead and get a better look at the screen. All right, so let's start listening with intention and figuring out what it is we're going to use for our track. could surely use a beat like that. Let me check out the topper. So that's like, you know, the hi-hat part of that. Let's check out this bass. That could be cool. In fact, you know what? I could even take that and start. You'll see what I'm going to do. I'm going to start chopping it, and we'll turn it into something different altogether. Just because you don't play piano, just because you don't play an instrument, doesn't necessarily mean that you have to know, you know, how to do that just to make music. You can just have a brilliant musical mind. I know a lot of people that were born with just an absolutely stellar musical mind. So forget about just the tactile, technical stuff. As long as you are willing and disciplined and driven, then you can find the ideas. Okay, trust me. I've been doing this for 7 years. I've found a lot of hacks. All right, let's go to track number 4. All right, this is cool. Now, bear in mind, you know, I use the phrase stealing before. All of these are royalty-free loops, so there's no real stealing. It's just more like borrowing and taking it and flipping it. The last thing you want to do is you know, go into the loop browser and make an entire song just with loops. It's one thing to just use loops and to modify them, change them, manipulate them, mangle them, but it's quite another to, you know, use loops and just slap them on there and call it a day. Like, that's not music. I just want to be clear. That is not music. My 6-year-old daughter can grab these, drag them in, and that's not music. It's creative. I agree. It is a step, you know, in the direction, but what we know currently, you know, what we know to be music, it requires more craft. It requires more attention, more care, more skill. All right, so that's cool. I'm pretty sure I can flip that. Let's go to this one right here. I'm going to trigger it by hovering over the play and then clicking. Oh. I can probably take just like I didn't like that loop, but I can probably take a portion of that. Now, bear in mind, this loop right here is different than this loop. It looks like they're changing to various samples, which is kind of an uncommon approach when we're talking about this specific lane. Okay, usually what people do is they'll put one beat and progressively change it over time. Let's see if this rings true. So like, we have this beat here, and then we go to this. So you see how that sounds entirely different? So that would be kind of an unorthodox way of using this. Let's see what happens when we go here. Yeah, so look, this is changing like drastically every time. My workflow will not be like that. I'm about to clear all of this in 1 second. I'm just kind of taking ideas and just, you know, observing and making kind of like guesses on what it is I'm going to be taking and using, right? I'm just compiling ideas at this point. All right, let's check out the horns. Cool. Let's check out this one. I'm moving with the arrow keys. I hit return just to sample the idea. Let's check it out. Ah, that sounds cool. Let's check this one out. So these are all great, right? We can use these. And I by no means am going to use them like this, by the way. All right, cool. So again, these are all kind of randomized as well, where sure, they're horns, but they're all different in so many ways. And again, there's no right or wrong way. It's just the method that I'm going to show you today, which is the cleanest, most comprehensive method, will help you the most. Bear in mind, I just developed the entire curriculum for Learnquest, who is an Apple training provider. Okay, so I'm at the point now where I'm working with Apple, creating curriculums, and you know, I have found systems that work. These are systems that I teach over at hfmusicacademy.com. Got a bunch of great members there. They're benefiting, they're learning, they're placing their music all over the world. And I just want to make that available to everybody. All right. And if you haven't checked out my live loops course on the Graphy app, go ahead and check that out. It's doing very well. And I'd love for you to check out all the details with the program, because there's only so much that I can cover in the next hour, right? All right, let's check out the chords. Okay. Pretty trippy. I don't know if I'll use it though, but let's listen to this next thing. All right, maybe. Let's check this one out. Okay. Oh, I like that. Oh, I like that. Okay, so I'm going to keep that as well. Everything's been a keeper thus far. I should probably get rid of these horns, but it's all good. Let's keep going. Listen to this. What's up, Luis Mendez? How's it going? Nice to hear from you. All right, so this works. Ooh, I like that. That's hard. Okay, cool. We'll keep that. Ouch. Oof. Oof. That's good. Yep. Oof. All right. I gotta remember that one. Sometimes, you know, if I'm like spacing out, underslept, I'll just color it differently. Let's go like a really strange color. There you go. Have it stick out. All right. Let's check the last two, number 9 and 10. I like it. It's a nice texture. Let's go to the one. Yeah, so these are all great. Love it. Love it. I'm going to change these up so much, though. Man, I got to tell you, man, it feels amazing to... That it's possible that we get to do music. You got to understand, like, 20 years ago, this wasn't even possible. This conversation that we're all having, you know, like, hey, let's just like write music on a laptop. Like, this wasn't even conceivable a couple years back. I'm so grateful that I got into this when I did, and I feel so ready. It's just incredible. It really is absolutely incredible. It's just only a couple years ago, I was on my laptop making music in my bedroom, in my living room, and some of that music has been placed on commercials, trailers. This is why it's important to be in action and not necessarily wait, because if you wait, guess what's going to happen? Nothing, more of the same. And then when you're in that state and you have no momentum whatsoever, guess what's going to happen again? Not much. And so, yeah, it's really important to get out of the box and to perhaps even be drastic, perhaps even be obsessive with your dreams. You know, you got to really go for it. You got to get after it if you want it, you know. Yeah, Eddie Gray here in the mix. Welcome to the channel. If you guys don't know who I am, go ahead and check me out. Instagram, Eddie Gray Music. IMDb, Eddie Gray. All right, let's listen to the last one, the effects. I'm pretty sure I'm going to keep these. I'm just saying. Yeah, I mean, come on. It's like cool, like one-shots and guitars, and you can already... Yep, roger that. Let's keep going. Okay, I like it. Last one. I don't know if I'm gonna go scratchy on this track, so I'm gonna delete that. All right, I don't mind those sounds. Let me just check the rest of these out. I'll take it. Sold. White noise. I love it. I love it. I'll take it. Keep going. Okay. Little down lifter, down riser. Has anybody ever gotten that right, by the way? Everybody keeps calling these things different things. There's like down riser, down shifter, uplifter, up downer. Like I just can't. Like, that's the one thing about the music industry that I wish and I aim to standardize. It's just the language. You know, there's so many different contradictions. This is one of the reasons why it's so difficult to learn it when you're first starting, because everybody is kind of saying the opposite. Hey, you can do this. No, you shouldn't do that. I mean, go ahead. Go on YouTube a little bit later and type in, you know, EQ mistakes or how to EQ, and you'll literally hear opposing arguments from either side. It's just insane how all of this information can be so readily available and so wrong on so many levels. So make sure you have reputable sources. You know, I've had a mentor for the last couple of years. Super grateful for Mr. Matt Thorne in Burbank. If you guys ever need a rock solid, outstanding producer, and yeah, you just got to make sure you're in line with the right people. You know, that can really show you what it is you need to learn. All right, let's keep going here. Like I said, I'm not going scratches, not because I love the art of DJing, but I'm going to be submitting this song, or those are my hopes, and I just can't have all that noise. Nah, it's not happening. Yeah, just not. I'm not going to go there. Yep, I like that. Cool, I'll take the noise. Roger that. Can't do it. A couple more. Jeez, this song is packed. All right. So, like I mentioned, this is a pre-made song given to us by Logic. And what I'm doing is I'm analyzing it to search for fodder, right? For material, for creative ideas, like, hey, you know, what's something that can perhaps inspire me or work for my track. So here's what they did. Check it out. All right. Yeah, it's pretty cool. It just obviously sounds like a bunch of different ideas. So let's work on our own track. I'm going to go ahead, shift click these, create a group, hit shift command D, or you can go up to track, create track stack. And I'm going to hide these. I'm essentially going to group them in what's called a folder stack. This is strictly organizational. I'm literally not going to do anything with this. I'm going to call this, I guess we'll call it music for now, or just let's put some ideas. Roger that. All right. Before I started, I went ahead and just tried to find something to start with because I don't, want to just go in completely blind here. I like to, have some musical ideas. And so what I did was I started playing with Reactor by Native Instruments, and I found this really nice kick. Check it out. Right. So that's a pretty sweet sound. And so, of course, right, for a lot of creatives, as soon as you hear the idea, as soon as you hear that concept, it just becomes real. Bear in mind, this is something that you could be doing while playing the guitar or just listening to another song, and then that gets you thinking. The point is just to find that source of inspiration. So I found it here, and now I'm going to utilize it with live loops. Let's go. All right, so I'm inside here. And I'm going to close the loop browser, close the inspector for now. I'm probably going to have some low latency here just because of my sample rate. So I'm going to turn on low latency mode. All right, let's set that up just the way I like it. In fact, you know what? Let me go ahead and apply my defaults. If you know the program and you set it up in advance, you can actually have your favorite presets pre-configured so you can work and work and work. All right, so I'm going to hit that. Cool. Feeling good. Let's get it. So, I'm going to turn on the click. All right. So, I'm thinking something like, right. Just kind of standard hip hop. So this is stuff you got to hear it in your head. And if you don't hear it in your head, then start playing something until you do, because you already know music. Let me be clear about this. All right. You already know this. There's just stuff in the way. There's noise in the way. Do you think when we were aboriginals, cavemen, that somebody had to teach us how to do this? And no, we were just, hitting our knees or, pans or whatever. And people started singing, and this was just in our hearts. And in fact, I believe that it's in everybody, obviously to the extent that it's in others, it's going to differ from person to person, right? There's some of us that are just going to lean into it a little bit more, just like some of us like to cook a little bit more or dance a little bit more or what have you. It doesn't really matter. But if this is your gift, you already know how to do it. So do it. All right, I'm going to start recording. Ready? Counting is on, and I won't get into the specifics necessarily right now, but basically all of the the system of recording, the recording protocol is right here in the cell inspector. So I'm going to go ahead and tell Logic to record 8 bars. All right, so I've set that up. Default is 4 bars. And then I'm going to tell Logic that every single time I record, I want to create takes, because I may mess up, or, you know, I don't want to merge these together. This is not a melodic part like I did in the last video. If you were watching, I was playing a piano on the left hand, a piano on the right hand, and I created 2 different tracks. We're not doing that. Here we're going to create different takes. All right, so other than that, I'm going to click here, make sure that the cell is in key focus, and then from here, I'm just going to hit R, and let's go. Hold on, why didn't we get that? Oh, I'm sorry. Key command is, I think, record into cell. Wonder if you have to set that in advance. Here we go. All right, good. So here's the idea. Let me quantize it. Everything looks pretty good right here. Let's listen up. Yeah, you can kind of already hear it, right? Yeah. All right, but that's only one idea. What if you have another idea, right? So I don't know. Let's just jam on this. This is what I love about live loops is, maybe I can go up. Yeah, let me do that. All right. So now just more ideas. It doesn't have to look a certain way. This is the best part about it. You can just collect a bunch of different ideas. Ready? Here we go. 2. All right, so that's pretty simple. You can quantize in the piano roll, or you can also control click right here. Go to quantize 16th notes. Let's take a listen. My bad. Okay, I still have that. I have that up there. All right, here we go. Hold on. So there's something right here. I wonder if this needs to. Hold on. Let me just listen to this with the. Yeah, that could come in right there. Check it out. Hold on. Let's play that. Okay, so you can see that the timing is off. I'm gonna bring that over there. Maybe I'll bring. All right, let's listen. Okay, that is also not gonna work. Looks like a lot of this. There we go. Looks like I fixed it towards the end. All right, here we go. All right, that one there is off. I'm going to nudge that using the key command. Yep, cool. All right, so that's another idea. See if we got anything else. Yeah, so one more, and then we'll go from there. So I'm gonna go here. Let me see if is there a key command to record in cell. If you ever want to learn a key command, just go ahead and look it up. Record into cell. No key command, but I can't imagine that we can't just set one. What if we did YR? Let me try that out. Let's see if I go into the key command window and I click on the key commands themselves and I hit any command, you should be able to see if it's currently being occupied. Option Y is not being used. So let's capitalize record into cell. Cool. Learn by key label to set this. Option R, rock and roll. All right, so I'm here. Option R, and that was a. Yeah, all right, here we go. 2. Let's get it. All right, cool. Obviously, latency there is pretty bad, but we shall fix it. That's why we learn how to edit. This is why we take the time to become technicians, engineers. Hey, if you're not taking this seriously, all right, if you're not reading the books, if you're not, in the classes, if you're not watching the seminars, I'm telling you, man, you're making a mistake. Conduct yourself like a professional. This is how you do it. I literally just got hired to go produce somebody's album, big album, and getting paid solid cash, negotiated the deal. You got to take yourself seriously, because if you don't take yourself seriously, how is anybody else going to take you serious? How are you going to conduct yourself like a business professional, businessman, businesswoman? If you don't really know your stuff, if you don't take the time to really study, get an active membership to a reputable tutorial site, sign up for a great school, whatever the case may be, you have to be on top of your game, and you have to stay in touch with the latest technology, what's cutting edge, what's working, what's not, what's filler. And so it's super important that you really know the ins and outs of the business if you're really going to thrive in it. All right. So do me a favor, go ahead, learn how to edit, learn how to manipulate MIDI, learn how to edit audio. Super important. It's like the one piece of advice that I give to any producer, any young producer, or just somebody that's new to the game. Doesn't really matter. This is not an age thing per se, but if you really want to get this down and you want to have flexibility and autonomy, you want to be able to do this anytime, anywhere, any place, you have to know how to function the DAW and to edit proper. Okay. All right, let's go. Yep. For some reason, I don't like this performance as much. So, oh, did I cut something out? I think I did. Hold on. Let me see. Oh yeah. I'm sorry. All right. I just want this one here. It just sounds a little bit better for some reason. All right, cool. So now you see what I'm doing here. I've got 3 ideas. They all kind of change in their own way. Here's the first one. Here's the next one. Here's the third one. All right, cool. And then we'll see how it all comes together. Obviously, that's just a kick, right? So that's just one of a lot of the things that are going to happen. But as you may have remembered, I initially started with a bunch of ideas. So I'm going to see if perhaps just maybe one of these actually works in conjunction with this. I'm going to try the first drum beat that we heard. Let's check it out. Yep. So you see, now I'm in business. This is what I'm trying to tell you. Now all of a sudden you can get yourself going and be in a great state. A lot of people that watch them work and they're stressed out. They're rushing. They're hurrying to the next thing, like forgetting to smell the roses, if you will. And it's super important to like be in a good state while you do this. Kind of obvious, but still worth mentioning, right? I remember somebody was watching my channel and she told me, you know what? When I watch you, I always forget that I need to have a good time while I'm working on my DAW. She happens to use Cubase, but it hadn't even dawned on me that when I do this, like I'm so happy because I love music production, right? Like top to bottom, the whole thing. And it's challenging. Don't get me wrong. It's got its days where you're just like, geez, what am I doing now? But it is so worth it on so many levels. I can tell you that I have fought for this, that I have fought for this day, and it means the absolute world to me. I got to show you something. Here, Trip. Hold on. All right. So there was hold on. What's up? Thank you. All the great salutations. Yeah, much love, much respect. Tell me where you guys are from. Um, I did a song once, and literally I was composing in my room. My wife had a closet, and I literally took out all her stuff, and I was composing in the closet. Not kidding. It's funny because I did a lot of business there. I actually did TV shows and all sorts of stuff. But here's my point. Somebody reached out to me and they said, "Hey, can you do a remix for us? We're starting up a remix contest. Would you be willing to, do a remix? And if you win, we'll give you some prizes, yada yada." So I thought, okay, cool. I'm gonna give it a shot. I've never done a remix ever in my life. Remember, I haven't been doing this for 20 years, right? I started a little bit later, and I've been playing music my whole life, but it was never a profession. It was never something that I did, with all my might, with all my heart. I could never find a way to actually monetize it, make bread, buy gear, and do that whole thing. Well, anyway, long story short is I did this remix, and I was in the greatest state, so happy, and at the time I wasn't even doing music full time from what I remember. I could be wrong about that, but I was transitioning for sure. And I was just stoked that I was doing music. And I just want to remind you that if you're doing music, be happy that you get the opportunity, that you get to do it, that you have the means, that you have a laptop, with Logic on it, or wherever you are in this, in this development, in your evolution. Like, just be grateful that you get to do music, because it's what we need to do, right? It's like breath for us, like a source of nourishment and love. It's a life force. So please just remember to be happy doing what you love. Here, let me show you guys something. So out of that record, I got the grand prize record that I showed up on. Check it out. So let me see if I can show you guys. You guys see that there? Number 2, Eddie G. Gray. Love it. So yeah, you guys can do it too. You just got to work. And I always joke around with all my friends and peers, all my students and clients that I've officially retired from remixing. I'm gonna retire on top, And it just goes to show, like, you can kill it, you can get it. You just gotta get after it. So yeah, be happy while you make your music, my friends. All right, let's go. What's up? Yep, thank you. Appreciate it. All right, so look, now we got this idea. So I'm going to bring this out and then check it out. I've got a working idea. Of course, you can't, copyright drums. And again, this is a royalty-free loop. But still, now all of a sudden I got this, pretty interesting idea. I'm going to start coloring the way that I like to color. I like all my drums in red. This helps me just look at everything. So let's see. I'm gonna put these here as well. Color these red. All right, cool. And then now I'm gonna listen to this one. I forget what this one is doing. I think it's the hi-hats or something. Oh, hold on. All right, so you see how all of these are playing at the same time, and I want them to stop. Lower right-hand corner, you can hit the stop all cells button here, and that will stop all playback. You can also hit spacebar, but there's a difference between stopping a cell and like de-triggering it. Let me show you what I mean. If I press play here, and you see how I press spacebar here, let me zoom in so that give you a little finer look. You see how it's still pulsing? Okay. Well, the reason it's still pulsing is because it's still in queue, and when something is still in queue, then essentially it's still ready to play back. So when I press spacebar again, it's gonna obviously play back. But if it's dequeued or if it's stopped, here, check it out. I'm gonna hit stop. Now it's not pulsating. It's not in queue anymore, and there's a difference between those two. So you need to understand that basic behavior on the most basic level. So you either have to trigger the cell itself here, Okay, so that's one way to play a cell. The other way to do it is to trigger the entire scene all together. So now that's all this cell, this one, and this one all at the same time. Check it out. All right, so the difference between this one and this one are very slight. I'm trying to listen, to be honest, and see what does this do. All right, I hear that. It's like a drum beat with some definition, but not much. Sounds lo-fi. What about this one? Yeah, I don't really hear much there. So why don't we change this up just to, you know, get something new out of this. I'm gonna go ahead and slow down the speed. So I'm gonna control click on that cell. All right, and then I'm gonna go to playback, and I'm gonna say, hey, can you play this in half the time? So basically, can you slow it down? Check it out. There we go. All right, let's see if that complements our song or if it does anything. May or may not, I don't know. We're experimenting. All right, so I kind of like parts of that. Like, it sounds interesting. There's like some cool stuff going on in the back. So I'm gonna go ahead and start analyzing this. Okay. So here I'm clicking on wired cross topper. That's track number 10. So I'm gonna double click, and now we're analyzing the audio file. We're seeing what can we do here to make this interesting, right? To make this worth our time. Again, I'm not just trying to drag in loops and just use everything they did. I want to change it. I want to somehow make it my own. So I'm going to go ahead and play with the loop length. Okay. And so you'll notice that this, this highlighted bar at the top will shift over a little bit. Check this out. Let me make this one bar like that. Cool. All right, let me listen. Let me make it short like this. All right, let me listen to this real quick. Okay, so that's an option. So notice that I took the initial cell and I changed it. Right, I completely changed the order of things so that it fit. So here, let me show you my zoom level. So the entire cell as a whole is 4 bars long, but I'm only using 1. Okay, so and half of 1 rather. So let me just drag this over and see if maybe there's something better here for fun. Let's see. All right, so that's interesting. Let's keep going. Maybe I'll find something else. Try it out. Okay, so right now my snap to grid is set to bar. Let me try beat. Let's see if I find something new. Let's try that. Here we go. All right, so I'm digging this. It's got to fit, right? It's got to fit. It's got to work. Here, let me try like in between the bars. Let's check it out. I'm telling you, there's something here. There's something here. Let me try this. All right, I think I'm gonna settle with that, but let me just check one more. Last one. Just kidding, one more. All right, so yeah, I'm just gonna use that for now, and just by way of experimenting and just having fun. All right, this isn't like, don't take yourself too seriously. Just kind of keep trying stuff and see what happens. I'm gonna go ahead and create an intro. All right, proper intro. So I'm gonna go ahead and take out this part here, and this here is my official intro. Right, we're just jamming, we're just having fun. Here we go. All right, and then the beat starts here. 2, go. All right, and then actually here I will change that whole thing because this was just a, an experiment. So I'm going to hit control, and remember that we were playing with the speed. We're going to get this back. So yeah, then now this is going to sound normal, right? All right, now bear in mind that I've also played with the loop length and all this other stuff, so you might have to, rectify all that, fix all that stuff. Whoa, what happened here? Let me go Command 1. All right, cool. So let's see, we're here. I think our 4. Yeah. All right, that should sound better. Let's check it out. All right, I'm gonna add a high shelf to this, and I'm specifically talking about this idea right here. That one. I want to hear more of the hi-hats, and so I'm going to utilize an EQ. So this is good to bring out the frequencies. See how much brighter it sounds? Here's without it. Darker. Let's try it. Cool. So that already sounds like an idea, right? It already kind of sounds like a very plausible boom bap idea, motif, track. So let me just hear my intro again. Cool. All right, let's take this same idea, click on the entire scene itself. I'm going to control click and then duplicate that scene over. And then we got to start adding some hi-hats, yeah? So let me see if I have a track that isn't audio, so I could start. Yeah, I don't think I have anything. So I'll tell you what, this is how we're going to do it. Option L, so that we're looking at just live loops. I'm going to hit O. Very cool. And then let's see. I'm gonna find some drums somewhere. Here, I'm curious. Let's go ahead and sift using genre. All right, so I'm gonna go into hip hop, and then here where the 4 loops are, you can distinguish audio, software instrument, pattern, and drummer. I'm gonna go ahead and select pattern, and let me find something that sounds, in that world of boom bap. Or, I mean, not the part itself, just the sounds, okay? Ooh, I like that. I like how the hi-hats are moving back and forth. That's pretty cool. Let's listen to this one. That's probably the one we're gonna choose, but let's keep going. I wonder if this would fit with our track. Let me try this. Not really. Feels like it's in a different key mode. I don't know if we're doing all that. Okay, cool. I wonder if that hi-hat would work. Nah. I'll tell you what, I'm gonna go with this one. All right. Now, again, I'm not taking the idea. I'm just taking the source sounds. And this is something you could very well also just make. But it's just one workflow. So let's click on this track right here. Okay. So this is the new pattern format, new to 10.5. This is actually what we're studying and working on currently at hfmusicacademy.com. If you have any questions, if you want some free resources, go ahead and email us and we will send you a free course. Support at hfmusicacademy.com. That being said, this is the automation for panning. So that's how we're getting the left and right. I'm going to take this off. I can control click here and I can clear the row. All right, here's the hi-hat itself. So this looks like a softer one. That's an open one. And kicks, I'm not in need of the kicks nor the snares. And so now I have this pattern that's currently running. Now bear in mind there are two sections because this is a 32 step sequence. So I don't need the latter half. So I'm going to go into 16 steps. All right, now I just have what I need here. So I'm going to press, man, I need to zoom in a little bit better on this. Yeah, that works for now. Let me go ahead and stretch this out. Cool. All right, let's listen to this. All right, so there's a lot here, again, outside the scope of this specific class. My main aim here is just to kind of show you some of the basics, and if you want to get into the details, then we can get into the details. But essentially, there are steps, and then there are attributes, and here are all the various attributes. And so what this pattern right here holds is various attributes. Here's the velocity attribute, which you can go ahead and play with if you'd like. You've got the note repeat function here, which allows you to play a single step at various rates. So triplet, quintuplet, like all that stuff you can play, and it's really fun and it's really easy to do. That's the best part about it. And then of course you've got the gate right here, which will basically close the note if it has a long sustain. In all fairness, it's kind of an irrelevant point with this hi-hat here, but neither here nor there. And then you've got the tie, and the tie basically allows you to connect notes so that they're sustained. Why is this important with a drum set? Well, let's say you don't want it to play on the fourth step. Then if you utilize a tie, it won't play. You could have also just turned it off as well. But again, this may have had something to do with the fact that they were panning and doing other stuff as well, which I omitted and left out. So here we got a nice little pattern here. Let's just see if we want to change the note repeat function. All right, check it out. All right, so the only thing I'm going to change is this note repeat right here. So I'm going to duplicate this again because I'm going to have it on the second go around, but not the first time. Here I'm going to change this so it doesn't repeat at all. It's just standard, maybe twice. Let's see what that sounds like. Okay. Oh, my bad. Here we go. And even then, why don't I keep it more just straight hip hop? Let's go. I'm just curious before we move on what it sounds like just straight down the middle. Yeah, so again, there's so many different possibilities here, but I'm gonna go ahead and change. Oops, let me get that going. Let me see here. Let's see if I could change. Yeah, cool. Let's do that. All right, so you hear how it's playing at this rate. I can actually change the rate as well. So here where it says 16, I'm actually going to play it so that just the hi-hat plays at an eighth note rate. Again, if this is complicated, we can go over it. This is what we're studying. But here, check it out. All right, so So that sounds really nice. I'm going to keep that for now. Step sequencer is a beast. We're actually spending 2 days on this this coming Monday and next Monday. So if you're interested, hit us up, support@hfmusicacademy.com. Currently offering a free trial. Bring you guys in. You can check out the magic and meet some of the other members. It'd be awesome. All right, so we have this pattern, and then we have this one. All right, I like this one, except the hi-hat has to come up or in pitch or something, or it's just got to come up in volume. So I'm going to go ahead and see this little button right here. Let me see if I could zoom in for you guys. Hold on. Right here where it says velocity. See that? I'm going to go ahead and click and drag up, and voila, just like that, all the velocities have gone up. And let me go ahead and add one more attribute for you. Okay, so I'm going to go here. I'm going to go to, where is, let's try note. Hold on, I don't want this to change. No, that's not what I want to do. I want to change the pitch. Gate, that's not going to do it. I wonder if octave's not going to help me either, because I think that's just going to go. Yeah, no, I'm good. I don't want that. Hold on. Here, let me undo that. I guess I can't change the pitch from here, but I could obviously do it inside the plugin. Now, the only problem with that is that it's not a problem, but you know what I mean. It's on the same track, right? I've got this kind of slow boom bap and then this one here. So I have to create a new track in order to pull this off. So I'm going to click on track number 13. And then here, I'm going to duplicate that over, so that I've got 2 of these. All right, now this one is going to be pitched up. Pitched up. Is it gonna be great when we can just tell this thing what to do? Like, I just say pitched up and it just knows, type it. I'm looking forward to it. There are some basic iterations of it right now. I'm not sure if you guys have seen that. It's pretty crazy, but yeah. Here, let's keep going. So now I'm going to click and get into Drum Machine Designer. I'm going to find that hi-hat, one of these. Let's check them out. So it's that one. I'm demoing the sound just by clicking right here on the icon. And then where it says pitch, let's bring it up. I'm going to go 2 semitones. I don't know, it could be more, but let's just listen. All right, so again, you've got these drums. Let me hit Command Return to stop all cell playback. I'm going to click here. So I've got this basic beat. And then, or hi-hat pattern. When we go to this one, we go. Now, the reason this is working particularly well, I just want to throw this out there. Hold on, let me move this over. Is because there are 2 hi-hats, and one of them is making one sound and has one pitch, and the other one is making another sound and has another pitch. And that's why when we play this back, it sounds pretty amazing. Check it out. Yep. All right, so to reiterate and kind of start from the top, we've got an intro. And honestly, it's not a bad idea to filter this whole thing out. So now I'm showing you my workflow. This is what I call changing scenes in a movie. I'm holding shift. I'm clicking both of these cells, control B to bounce them to audio, my friends. And then from here, Logic's going to go ahead, bounce it. And then I'm going to apply some processing. Okay, I'm going to do that on the back end. And what that's going to do is going to allow me to treat it so that it sounds different. And it can essentially evolve into the next section. If we're listening to the same stuff, if we're listening to the same parts over and over and over again, after a while, the listener gets bored, right? And you want to make sure that you're able to keep the attention of the listener, as obviously that's the most important part of the music making process, is the connection between the 2, the 3, the 4, and then the millions. Let's get back in. So these here are no longer needed, right? So I'm going to click them, hold shift to create a group, hit control M. If you don't remember key commands well, do me a favor, your tool menu will serve you well. All right, so then now I've got this here. This is the conglomerate or the basically the sound of these two working together. So check it out. You can see it's, super long. We're not going to need that much because I'm going to go ahead and trigger scene 2 so we can get into it. But it would be really cool if we applied a filter or something like that. So we can use a Logic one. It'll sound something like this. And then we went to that guy. Oh, I missed the trigger, but you know what I'm saying. Yeah. So that could be interesting. That could be worthwhile right there. So that's something to think about, something to look at. What's interesting is been analyzing the way automation works with audio, and it's not as easy as it would seem. I think they're probably still working out some of the bugs. But anyway, that's what I'm going to do. That's kind of the idea, is that I'm going to perform it in that way, okay? Because remember, we're about to make a whole song. It might take a session or two. I don't know. I haven't pre-planned that far. But when we do play it, we're going to automate it so that it sounds like it's being lifted, evolving over time. And this is only one way to do it. Let me show you for some of my advanced people, some of the people that have been putting in their reps, have been getting in the work. Let's try out. Which is a really good filter. It's called Ladder Filter. I've been using that quite a bit. Now to find it is another question. Here, I'm using this plugin that is by a company called Speaker Food, I believe. It's called. It's like a plugin search menu. So I'm just able to search really quickly and try and find the plugin. It works like 90% of the time. Okay. All right. So here's another filter. This is the same exact concept. Yeah. Let's check it out. All right, so that is how we're going to be approaching that part. So you see, I'm starting to think about the song. I'm starting to think about how can it start and how can it transition. So we've got this beat, and then all of a sudden these hi-hats come in right after that. It goes like this. Cool, I'm sold on all that. I don't remember, with the other ideas I was generating. Let me just kind of refresh my memory here. So that's the same as before. So I'm going to click here and I'm going to delete because I don't want any more of that. I have enough of that going here. But this was surely something else. Check it out. Okay, so this, what just happened right now, I'm not sure if you guys realize what just happened, but that was called a happy accident. I played something, I totally forgot that this specific scene was going to have another component, another cell. And all of a sudden, I started hearing this, all this other stuff happening, and then that took me to another place altogether. So sometimes you just need more ideas. You just need stuff to be kind of on the screen ready for you to take to another level. So look what I'm going to do here. Check it out. I'm going to take this idea. Now remember, these are currently queued and ready to play back. So the key command is command return. Go ahead and write that down. Do me a big favor. You really want to learn live loops. You really want to make it a habit. You really want to make it a workflow. You're going to have to learn command return. All right. All right. So then I'm going to listen here. Check it out. Okay. So I love this. This is really cool. All right. But it's not going to fit with what I'm up to. So I'm going to change the pitch. How do I change the pitch? Well, you could do it one of two ways. You can control click the cell itself. You could go into playback. You could go into okay, no, I guess you can't. Well, no, I'm sorry. Here it is right here. All right. So obviously this is a new format, and you can find different things in different places. For example, you can actually find the transpose feature here in the cell inspector as well. But here I'm trying to do things different. And so I'm going to transpose down. I don't know. Let's try an octave first. I want this to be really low, and then we can go up from there. Yep. Okay, cool. So now let's listen to this and just, this is awesome. Check it out. All right. Now notice there's a lot of low end, a lot of very kind of low end energy. We're going to go ahead and cut that out. We do not need it. Unnecessary for the track. Now again, I'm formatting this a certain way. So I'm going to go ahead and bounce this to audio again, and I'm going to just call this filtered. Cool. Hopefully you guys are enjoying yourself. You got any questions for me, hit me up. Thank you guys very much for watching. Appreciate the support. If you like the content, go ahead and like, subscribe, and we'll keep coming at you with some fresh content. So here we are. I'm going to go ahead and filter this out. So I don't need the low end stuff. Just guessing. Arbitrary number, hidden 400. Let's see how this sounds. Yep. All right, cool. Now I'm going to take this a step further. We got it sonically to sit right. Sounds interesting, right? But now I'm going to change the automation parameters inside here. All right, so how do I want this to go? Let me look at it first. Here. Okay, so ideally here, let me move this loop browser. Yeah, let me move that back, and that should only be. I think I'm gonna do that. Okay. All right. The goal here is to change and modulate the volume over time. Now you could do this kind of manually like this, and be careful and do all this in a very kind of scientific way, but you can also just mess around and have fun. So since we're just hanging out here, I'm gonna go ahead and just play with it. I'd like to come up with a pattern, but just I need to listen to it before I define a workable pattern. So here we go. All right, so I'm kind of hearing something like this. Okay. Oops, that went too far. So let me just hold on. I guess it would be something like that. So basically, comes in hot, drops down, and then comes in hot. All right, let me play this by itself so you really understand the mechanics, what's going on. I'll tell you, you got the right opportunity in front of you, you got the right teacher. It really makes a world of a difference. I can't tell you how much I learned from my mentor, Mr. Mathorn. Guy's absolutely incredible. And just by sitting next to him, I mean, I still like to see him to this day just because he's got so much great information. So yeah, please take advantage. I don't know how long I'll be doing these, but right now I feel really called. I made myself a promise 7 years ago, and I'm going to keep to my promise. And there's a lot of work to do, a lot of jobs, a lot of different opportunities. But I want to make sure that I contribute to your life, to your creativity, to your prosperity. And so, yeah. So now check just the one loop out or cell. Here we go. So it comes in a little hot right here. And now this is where I can get a little bit more technical. I can create a selection. I can drag this down. All right. And then now this is going to fit a little bit better. All right. So let's listen to the progression as it stands right now. We got the intro. I'll play that back. You know what? Actually, I thought about it while I was doing this. Double click. Let me automate this, this setting. Because you can do this kind of automation offline. So I'm going to click on, what are we going to do? Are we doing a high cut? I forgot what hold on. Let's see some. So here's this track here. Yeah, we're doing the ladder filter. Roger that. So I'm going to hit E to go into the audio file or audio cell editor. And then I'm going to click on cutoff. That's going to enable the setting here in the automation parameter menu. Now, if your Logic doesn't do that, go ahead and do me a favor. Go into mix, go into auto select automation parameter and read mode. As soon as you enable that, everything will automatically just start to work. Okay. And what do I mean by work? Well, if I click on any single plugin parameter, Logic will update in the automation parameter menu like so. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and click on cutoff because that's what we're working on, of course. And where does this start? Let me listen to this. Yeah, this is cool. And I suppose that we'll get it to travel over the course of 4 bars. Forgive me, I don't remember if it's this way or that way, but we'll figure it out. Here we go. It would make more sense if we went the other way, wouldn't it? All right, so let's go up here and I'm going to go like a slow burn, my friends. In order to change the slope, I'm going to go ahead into the tool menu, and you can also hit this with the keyboard modifier, but I'm going to select the curve tool. And so I'm going to go ahead and get in nasty just like that. Here we go. Let's go a little bit off. I wish it was a little bit warmer at the beginning. So let me go ahead and bring this down. Hold on. Oh, there's a new key command too. Here, let me, I think it's option down. No, hold on. I got to check this out. I believe it's, something like automation, something about raising it up or down. Here it is right here. So if you hit option up and down arrow menu, you can change your automation by, a nudge. I don't know if this is true in the cell inspector, but yeah, no, it looks like it's not true here. But anyway, in the tracks area works pretty nicely. So let me bring this down. All right, let's see how this works. All right, that's a little tight, so let me just do that. Still a little much. See if this works. All right, so I'm just going to raise up the hi-hats a little bit. They're kind of quiet in the mix. Yeah, we're just crafted this piece by piece. You know, this is how it works. I kind of let the next idea dictate what's going to happen next. So for example, you know, hear the hi-hats. Hey, you know, maybe we got to move this a little bit. You know, listen to the drums, see if that kind of pushes you. You're looking for that voice. You're looking for that piece of your mind that says, hey, I think you should do this, right? It's called your musical intuition, and something you were born with, and maybe you haven't been listening to it. And so it's time to get back to the source. So yeah, this sounds good. Digging the track, like the evolution of it. Definitely like the hi-hats and stuff. Feels good. Let's add 1 or 2 more things, and then I got to finish a job, so we'll get to that. So here, listen to this. What's here? All right, this all sounds great. I like this new symbol thing that we just did. I'm going to increase the gain. I'm going to change the numerical value by hitting 2, any number, and then just increasing the gain. All right, so we need something else here. We need something else to kind of fill in and make this magical. I don't know what. I'm just going to play some stuff. All right, I'm going to take that idea right there. So let's go ahead and drag this down with the rest of them. And I'll play with one feature that I really like. It's called play from. And we've kind of touched on it already, but not really. Hit Z, reset my screen here. All right, so I've got a lot of other ideas. So I'm just going to go ahead and mute these so as to avoid confusion. Wait, is this the one that I was looking at earlier? Oh, that's funny. I didn't even notice that. Hold on. Is this the one I was looking at? Ah. Hang tight. Hold on. Let me. Yep. Okay. I like the idea. I just don't know if it works with this song. Let me show what I mean. I'm going to play everything together. Yeah, it's almost like a different tune, isn't it? Here, you guys might want to know this if you're into live loops. So if I drag this over, it's going to just copy it over. But if I click, drag, and hold Control, I can actually swap these two. All right, so that's pretty cool. Something new, something different. We've never seen that before in Logic 10.5. All right, let's check this out. Yeah, so that just doesn't sound like it's all coming together. I like parts of it. It's probably going to be like another song in all fairness, but let me listen to this. There was something I really liked. Was it this one? Yeah. Dun 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 dun. So we're gonna somehow figure out how we're gonna use that. Again, I'm gonna swap these over. Let me listen. Do that. Hit E. Let me play. Let me take off this effect. Let me hear this again. Maybe hit a low cut. Get some of that low end information out. Let's see. Okay, cool. So I'm just trying to figure out how I'm going to fit this, if it's going to work, that kind of thing. Why am I hearing oh, okay. I'm hearing like other stuff here. Let me remove this out of the equation. Let me make sure this is working again. All right, cool. And bear in mind, this is also something that you could reverse if you wanted to. I believe if you hit Control-Shift-R, it'll do just that. I'm not sure if it happened or not, but we're about to find out. Nope. Let's see if it's the case now. Yeah, you can see it's playing backwards. Yeah, lots of options, obviously. I mean, that's one of the things about producing nowadays, right? It's like so many options. So you got to choose the best one for the song, not for you, not for him, not for her, but for you. So here, let's let me listen one more time. I'll listen without the EQ this time. Let me see what's up. Let me take it out of reverse. All right, let's see if we could turn this into something just different altogether, okay? I'm going to change this into maybe that. I don't know if that'll work. Let's try it. Okay, so this would be an interesting idea. Dun 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 dun. Maybe we change, like, you know, the phrasing and the pitches and stuff. That could be interesting. So let me duplicate this. Again, this may not work, but we got to follow our instincts. Right, guys? We got to follow our instincts, right? Cool. Again, welcome to the channel. If you guys don't know who I am, Eddie Gray. Just so happy to be here and talking about my favorite subject in the world, Logic Pro. If you guys have any questions about Logic, hit me up. Apple Certified T3 Trainer. Be happy to serve you guys. Make sure you guys have all the information you need to get your music and your career to the next level. Let's see. So we got this. And then we've got this one, but I'm going to change the pitch of that one. All right, so how do I do that? You go into transpose. I'll start off with 2 semitones. How do you do that? You basically click and drag up and down. I'm not sure if it's going to work. Let's try it. Right, so that could be an idea right there. I'm not sure if I'm totally sold on it, but I think it works. Let me go down 3 semitones. Maybe 1. Let's try it. Slip of the hand. Here we go. Nah, it's gonna have to be 2. Boom. Let me listen to this. Yeah, so I see this kind of be more as a just like a decorative or something on the side kind of thing, you know. Maybe I'll pan it to the left side. Let me see if I could add some reverb. All right, let me see the transition going into it. So, what if it went dum 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 stop? Dum 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 dum. How would I swing that? Because now there's like silence that we have to factor in. How do we factor in silence? You know, dun 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 dun. Let's see, E. So that's interesting to think about. Okay, so this is actually a good example of when you would probably use the tracks area, and I'll end here. So I'm gonna hit Option B to go into the tracks area, okay? And then I'm gonna drag this over because now I need a space to edit this specific loop. I'm trying to create a very specific idea, and I'm not able to necessarily use the live loops grid as a way to surgically edit a region, right? So it's not that's not the right space for it per se. It's more of a creative playground. That's the way I look at it. So then now we're inside of the tracks area. You can use this hybrid workflow where you're looking at both screens. I'll do it just for the sake of just all my new users. And so basically now I'm here and I want to check the length of the loop. You see that's perfectly set to a beat. So you got bar, beat, division, tick. If you look at the little help tag, you can see those numbers. I'm going to Command D a couple times because I wanted to go dun, 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 or something like that. Something that would be a little bit more musical in that way. So let's see how this works. Now, bear in mind, we're listening to the tracks area now. We're not listening to the live loops grid, okay? Yeah, so let's do that. Bring that together. I'm gonna create a little fade. And then I'm gonna go ahead and join these. Okay. And so then now if I go back to the help tag, you can see that this is 0 bars, 3 beats, 2 divisions, 0 ticks. All right. With all that newfound information, let me drag that in right here and see if so I gotta think about this. Dun, 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 dun. So I don't know, let me drag it first, and I might create like 2 versions of this, one with just this silence or this length, and then one that plays like over the course of like, I don't know, let's try 4 bars. You see what I'm doing here? So I'm gonna create another one of these just in case. So I used the marquee tool, I created a selection, and then now the silence is being factored in. This is why I couldn't do that inside of the live loops grid. If you're confused, trust me, you watch this video again, you watch it a couple times, and it will make sense. If you're new to Logic, do me a favor, go get my Logic course. This is the course that I currently am using for the products that I created for Learnquest, who's an Apple training provider. And so yeah, we're out there, we're making things happen, and we're helping a lot of the creative people that are just aiming to get better, right? Forget about trying to be famous. Let's not even factor all that in. How about we just like become competent, exceptional, powerful, profitable, right? All right, so let's listen to this real quick. All right, and then I wanted to repeat right there. So even though I factored in a lot of silence, I don't need that much. I just need that much. Let me lift up the volume. For now, I'm just going to lift up the meter. I know it's over 0. It doesn't matter. We're living in the digital age. It doesn't matter. Here we go. All right, let me hit play again. Hold on. So that right there, right? The goal is to be able to easily work in your DAW. The goal is to be able to execute on anything. If a singer tells you that she wants you to have a vocoder set, if your collaborating partner tells you to apply a filter, if your music supervisor who's paying you an inordinate amount of cash tells you to make fixes to the limiting of the track or the dynamics, you got to be able to face the challenges that meet the day. This is why I do this. All right. I'm here to help the modern creative. I know you're out there. I know you're watching. So I appreciate you. Much love. I want you guys to stay focused this week. I really want to make sure that you feel supported. All right. And if you need any more resources, please email us at support@hfmusicacademy.com. We're here every Monday. We're here every Wednesday, 5:30 p.m. Pacific Standard Central Time. I will see you guys next time as we continue to make this track and many more. All we ask in return for this time and this contribution is that you refer our channel, our services to one of your friends, or just perhaps a social media post, just giving us some love, tagging us on Instagram, tagging us on all the various socials. With that, we would just, really appreciate that. We thank you from the bottom of our beings, of our souls, of our hearts. Thank you very much for watching. If you like the content, subscribe, and remember to keep your frequency high. We'll see you guys later. Take good care of yourselves. Much love, much respect. Cheers.